Hi guys, welcome back to another deck profile video, and today I invited my friend over who actually encourages me to play this magical Musketeer deck, and I played quite a few times and I find it quite interesting, and that's why I decided to make it in Master Duel as well. So Clems, maybe you want to do a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Clems, a friend of Del's. Del was the one that actually reached out to me to ask how to build this deck since he thought that it was a bit interesting. So I guess you could say that I have a lot of experience with the deck, playing it in real life for like 5-6 years already. So fighting all kinds of meta decks and then failing, maybe not failing as much. So I like to think that I have some experience with the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can take him as like it's same as me. Like I play Pendulum Magician for like a good 5 to 6 years, fighting all the meta stuff, and Pendulum Magician is not even meta. So he's somehow like a modern version of myself, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So so this deck list is actually I made this deck list, but I actually tweak it a bit to my own play style. But I'll have maybe Clems like maybe run through like what's the main concept of Mardan. Like maybe you can give the viewer a bit summary or general knowledge about Mardan itself.
I mean, Mardan is interesting because it doesn't really play like a traditional Yu-Gi-Oh deck in the sense that, like, you know, typically Yu-Gi-Oh with spell or control based decks, right, they're usually setting their back row and all their hate in the back row. But the way the Mardan works is as if they don't have any spell trap back hate, it's just that they have like 20-30 hand traps. Right? So it's like they have 20-30 hand trap deck, which is I feel is quite fun, and it changes the dynamic of the duel a lot, in the sense that a lot of people don't know how to deal with a back row deck that doesn't have back row. Yeah, like you can't set back row hit and all that. So it opens up for very creative or at least non-traditional plays. So that's why I think it's a very interesting deck. In terms of like how they operate, you could think it as really traditionally like how you would have your Eldritch deck or your control deck like Sentoki, but just that you don't set any of your back row. So I guess that's the most useful way you can think about it. But of course it comes with the issue that if you guys are not aware, right, that you can only activate your spell traps only if you have a magical Musketeer monster on the field. So that is the effect of the magical Musketeer monsters, if you were to look at their effect, where they allow you to activate it directly from the hand. So you can think that, okay, if you don't have any of your magical Musketeers on the field, then you can't activate any of your spell traps at all. So that's the restriction that holds them back quite a bit. Yeah. So really, this deck is all about understanding how to preserve the resources, both in terms of like making sure you always have a monster on the field, as well as always ensuring that you always have your bullets to shoot things down. Yeah, so there's some kind of tempo there. Yeah, which I guess when we are looking maybe in the deck list or maybe in the place in the replays in the future, we can talk about how the kind of like mindset you must have. Yeah, I think most people have a misconception on how to play the deck. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's just to add on to what Clems says. So each Mardan actually has an effect that when something is activated at that column, right, it actually does something. So it depends on like when you want to activate those Mardan's effect, and then when you want putting it at a position that even your opponents activate at that column, it can trigger those effects, right? Yeah.
So most of everyone have the same effect to allow you to activate from the hand, but really what makes the engine going is that all of the Mardan monsters have an effect to basically generate resources of some way, and they do it whether or not you activate it in their column or your opponent does. So there is some mind games that you can also have where you put it like say in a pendulum column, so that a pendulum player is forced to activate their effect and you get resources early without doing anything. Yeah, so there are little things like that which are really cool.
Yeah, so I think like especially like the fact that you will put it at the corner just so that a pendulum player will have to activate it. You can also like put it at a spot that your opponent has already set there.
Right,
so it's the same thing.
Yeah. Or actually a higher level play is you put it in columns where they haven't said anything. Yeah, because sometimes if they have committed already resources to put in a column that you don't have any Mardan monster, then you can just summon it into an empty column where if they want to do follow-up play, then they have to activate there. And usually it's not a trap card like Impermanence, which might punish you. Yeah, so there are all these kind of mind games is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the deck interesting. So I think a quick run through of the deck, those quick effects lah. So Casper, when you activate the column, you actually add a Mardan card to your hand from your deck. Then there's Dog, which adds a Mardan card back from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about an interesting part about it is that unlike for both Casper and Doctor, unlike most searches, right, where you're not allowed to search the same name as itself, right? The thing is that they actually can search themselves. It's just that you cannot search the card that you activated in that column to activate this effect. So there are some interesting interactions where you can basically recover the same resources you use, like Casper searching Casper if you need more monsters, or Doctor recovering Doctor, you know, things like that. Yeah. So it's an interesting condition that they have.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't know about you can search the
itself,
monster
right?
itself
Right,
until like just now.
Because most people say you can't search itself, but that's usually in the context of like combo decks, right?
Yeah. So Doctor can search itself, Casper can search itself also. Then there's Kid Brave, which I think is maybe not as popular, like people play 1 or 2, right?
It can be punished, that's the reason.
Yeah,
but basically it's is it Magical Mana or
Magical Mana?
What's the spell card that you discard 1, draw 2? But basically it's you discard 1 card as cost, has to be a Magical Musketeer card, and then you draw 2 cards.
Yeah, so sometimes I activate this and then they just ash me, so I'm
then
gone.
it hurts, it really hurts.
Yeah, this one really
so
hurts.
we don't really play a lot of copies.
So this is equivalent to like our pen call also, like, because
it's like the cost, right?
Yeah, the cost is too painful. Then there's Starfire, which once activated in the column, you actually special summon 1 Magical Musketeer. But okay, this one is different. You can't special summon itself.
Because this one is straight to the deck.
So this one is
so this one, and I think I'm not sure whether the graveyard version.
Oh, there's a graveyard version.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So usually this card, for me at least when I was playing, I always try to get another level 4 so I can go into my Utopia, which I think this is one thing that
which
we'll
I
talk
recommended.
about later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Then there's Calamity. Calamity, this is special summon back from graveyard.
It's the graveyard one.
Oh yeah, this is a graveyard one.
Oh, and it can also special itself.
Oh, this one doesn't have.
Yeah, it doesn't have that condition. So I think it's only just Starfire, so you don't have weird loops.
Yeah. Okay. Then there's WoW. I don't think people play this, but I played this because I don't have enough level 4.
I mean, some people play this actually over Starfire, and actually in the latest build, at least in real life, they're actually having a resurgence for this card.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, not important for Master Duel players.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a level 4 target. It basically targets. Basically, it's was it Digusto effect? Where you target up to 3 cards in your graveyard, shuffle them,
and
draw one card.
Yeah, correct.
So it's a sort of like a recovery, making sure you not all your cards are in your graveyard and you can keep playing.
But the main reason I put this is so that
it's just a level 4. It's just and it's also the highest attack main deck monster actually. Aside from the boss. It's 1/7, it's quite big.
Yeah. So talking about that, actually one of the con of Magical Musketeer is all of them are very, very
small. It's they're all babies. They look like they have a lot of muscle, but actually they're all babies.
Yeah. So actually there's actually one spell that actually doubles attack, which I was asking Clems the other day should I put it. Then he was telling me actually they are all very small, so actually there's no point really.
I mean we can get to that when we're looking at all the cards as well, right?
Yeah. So just to wrap things for the deck list, but so like what I mentioned is I put all the level 4 so that we can go into the Utopia package, which for those who don't know, usually we'll go into Utopia double first. Then using its effect, we'll add this card called Double or Nothing inside, and then it will exit to Utopia, which will make it 5,000 attack. And then with the Double or Nothing effect, your Utopia will negate its own effect to double its attack during damage stat, which make it 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000.
So as long as your opponent has a attack position monster that less than 2,000, you can straight away instant OTK with 8,000.
I mean, normally most people that play double can already do a lot of damage, but what is so nice about Magical Musketeers is that they can guarantee the OTK because they can ensure right with one of their spell cards. Yeah. So there's this spell card where basically it's like a better chalice, Forbidden Chalice, where negate the monster's effect, but at the same time turn their attack and defense to 0. So you have this really thing where as long as they have one attack position monster, they're screwed. Immediately they are dead.
Yeah, I forget about this 0, but which makes it
makes it so easy to OTK. Easy.
So this is the reason why actually Clems introduced me this Utopia package. So I think explaining so much might not show much, but let's take a look at the gameplay that we literally just played 5 minutes ago. And although we lost the game, but I think it's a good gameplay.
Informative.
I think
sure.
Yeah. So actually I've been playing combo deck, so this is like one of the first few control deck that I play. And
really? Okay.
Yeah. After that then I jumped to like Sky Striker and stuff. This is one of the deck. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing here is that when we're playing this thing, right, is that he actually didn't play anything. So it made the hand actually from decent to actually very awkward because you can't turn into max immediately. Right? Yeah.
Because there's not enough, right?
Yeah, there's not enough resources to plus hard enough. It's not worth it.
Yeah. So in talking about max, right? I think just now we didn't really talk about max. Let me quickly jump into. So I think one of the card that make it a lot more playable, I'm not sure.
Yeah, when this card came out for the first time, it made the deck a lot more playable. Yeah.
Because previously Magic Musketeer don't have any link monster, but when this comes out, right, the effect for this is there's two. So you can choose if let's say your opponent has a lot of spell card, you can activate that if this part of the effect. You special summon the monster based on the number of spell trap card he has on his side of the field. Then there's the opposite way. You add spell or trap a magical musketeer spell or trap card into your hand based on the number of monster he has. So it's like a opposite thing lah, which I think this makes a lot of.
Yeah, because it means that you now are no longer like losing to grind games anymore because you're just plussing so hard. Equal to the amount of cards that like difference, you know. So you're always equalizing your resources, always being, at the same amount of like pressure as what the opponent is providing. So it means that you never run out of resources truly.
Yeah, because I realized if we talk about effect just now, every time we activate something, although we add back card, but if you want to activate another one, we actually start to -1 from there already.
In a sense, yeah, but I feel it really shines more in a sense when usually the problem is that magical musketeers, and this is one of the things that I'll say that most people have a misconception of, is that they think it's like Eldritch or like Sky Striker, where you can just activate cards, prevent them from playing plays, and then once they end, you can continue and then plus like crazy again. The problem is that magical musketeers, right? You can throw all your bullets, at the first turn and then stop their turn, but then you have no follow-up because you literally lost all your bullets. And the important thing is that you need bullets to generate more bullets. So you can't use all of them in one turn. Otherwise, like you mentioned, right, like you start going minus if you use all the bullets like multiple times. So it's important to have this kind of like pacing. So the issue here is that, if somehow the opponent still can break your board after you throw all your bullets, then you've come in a situation where you have no cards in your hand, you have no way to get back into the game, and then they are +3 above you and you can never recover. So that's where Max comes in, where just with one monster, right, you can recover all the lack of resources that you have like generated, try to stop them, and then it helps you keep playing the game again. So it really helps with the grind game a lot. So that's why I feel it really shines there.
Adding more bullets or just getting out more monsters both actually helps a lot, right?
So here he tributes for Kaiju.
So at this point in time we can't activate anymore.
So actually this was a mistake that we should have, in the sense that if we don't have any like bullets, or we cannot guarantee the survival of the monster, I actually wouldn't have even normal summon Doctor actually. Because like I mentioned, right, if they get rid of your monster and you don't draw another magical musketeer monster, right, you have to end your turn just then and there, right? You have no follow-up play. So it's all about understanding, sort of like the resources game, and like you have to think 2 steps ahead.
Actually that's what I learned today after you talk about it. Like I always like just
just normal and then try to max, right? I mean, now I would, because now I have 2 monsters and I'm a Monster Reborn, and I can go into max afterwards. So in that sense, you can say that you can guarantee ensuring your next turn is secured. So that's when you're confident to commit. So for those that are playing like the deck, for the first time and not really comfortable, understand that the moment you normal summon your magical musketeer monster, right, that is your indicator of that you have committed in your game. And you have to be confident that whatever you do, right, your next turn is secured. If you're not, it's maybe better you hold resources and think of another way to like bait negations beforehand.
So actually at this point in time, if I'm not wrong, Clems activated that during damage step, so actually there wasn't anything that you can do, and it can be activated during damage step because it's attack modifier spell.
Exactly. So one of the interactions is that if it modifies the attack and defense, it can be activated in damage step. So obviously you cannot search with any of your magical musketeer monsters if you use it in their column, but the usefulness of it is that it allows basically a more simplified situation. Because sometimes there are effects, some monsters where they can bounce or like change better positions and stuff, but those cannot be activated during damage step. So for example, a very popular interaction that I always landed was that people special summon Prankatops against me, the dinosaur.
Then they try to...
and then what they do is, because so fat, right, they will always try to attack first before tributing to destroy another magical musketeer card on the field. So it's always a neg 2 on me. But the thing is that if I always go into damage step, then even if I don't have the spell in my hand, then they have to start thinking if they know about magical musketeers. Because in the end, if I do happen to have that thing, right, they just summon Prankatops for nothing. Because I'll just turn it to 0, they can't respond, they can't tribute it to destroy cards, and then they'll just crash and die.
So it's either they take a 0 pop.
Yeah,
or
so they
take
get a neck 0 or the neck 1. So
Yeah.
just that mind games is already very very good. So I guess in a Master Duel context, right, if you do have the bullet to turn to 0, right, the cross domination, you can always, if you feel that you can't interact with them properly in the battle step, you can go to the damage step. And for the lack of a search, at least you can guarantee, you kill them by battle.
Yeah. At least you at least remove it something.
Remove some resources. Yeah.
That is if I don't need to use the
Yeah,
effect
if you
of
don't feel the search is important, or you feel that the search is going to get negated somehow, you can't risk it, then a safer play is going under damage step and just use it.
Yeah. And just to top it off, there's Magical Musketeer also got this card, and Clems call it the triple DD Crow
It's
card.
so good.
Yeah.
This is actually, people like to think the cross domination or even the Desperado is the best card, but actually this is the best card.
Yeah. So this card actually same thing. You need a Magical Musketeer to
all the
activate,
spell traps have it.
and then you can target up to 3 cards in either graveyard and banishes them. So we activated it at this point in time because he's trying to set a card from his graveyard, and then
pop as well. Yeah,
and this guy, once he set a card, he gets to pop 1 card. So what Clems is he just banish away that card, so
and
he does
all his resources as well. It's not just that card that he wants to special, it's all of it.
Yeah, so he banishes these 3.
So maybe we can pause here because I want to talk more about Dancing Needle. Yeah, so the cool thing about Dancing Needle is that it's flexibility. So first of all, it's a triple Diddy Crow, you can banish 3s, which is really good against most combo decks that use resources from the graveyard. But actually, this helps you as well because you can banish your cards in your graveyard.
Okay.
And people don't know this because if you're going first, for example, right, and you have a Magical Musketeer on the board, but maybe not like, have 3 and you cannot control as hand, and you only have this card in your hand. Actually, this makes your hand traps a lot stronger because it makes them immune to Caught by the Grave.
Oh.
So you see how the interaction goes, right? Like say for example, they want to combo, you throw Maxi, right? Then they Caught by the Grave you, trying to get rid of it so that they can play their combo and then you're stuck and you're going to get overwhelmed. You can use this, banish your own Maxi, so it doesn't get banished by Caught by the Grave. And that means that your Maxi is guaranteed to resolve, and then you get all your bullets and then you can keep playing the game.
That's something I didn't talk about.
So it's the flexibility to banish your own cards, especially like if they want to banish cards in your resources, then you can banish it as well. So
That's really interesting. I only know that you can banish your own card, but I never thought of the
some of the interactions, right? So mostly it's things like Caught by the Grave, it helps a lot. Sometimes if they would need to banish things from your side to activate effects, you can banish your own cards.
I was thinking more towards the line of Shark Cannon trying to like grab out my Ash Blossom.
Right. Shark Cannon, like if you know about Sky Scratchers, right? They will also try to special summon your own monsters, or if they monster reborn your own monsters. You don't want to give them that extra resources to maybe Link Climb or Secret Climb, right? Then just deny them by banishing your own monsters. You don't really need them most of the time. So it's a very creative way to think.
I like the Call by the Grave one. I think it's really interesting. So at this point in time, I think we are starting to lose resources now.
The issue here is that, like, okay, we are not exactly winning because we have such an awkward hand. We are not having like our searches or anything, right? But at the same time, he's not really playing the game. So we can't max and like recover the resources and try to start playing also, right? So there's this very awkward grind game that's happening here. That he's doing, and then finally he pop cards, and then lucky we have the Ash. But then afterwards, what can we do? He's just gonna battle phase and web pass. So
as you can see, Magical Musketeer is all very small.
All very small. So that's really the weakness.
Even though you think that 1005 is small, right? But then we are even smaller.
I think most monsters are usually around 1005 as the average and above, right? But I think there's only one card in the deck.
The 1007 one.
I mean, you have the level 4, but typically in most Magical Musketeer, it's only the Keep Brave that is above 1005, and it's only 1006. So it's very, very weak. So it's very easy that he just whack you and then move on. So that's a large weakness of the deck of Magical Musketeers is that you need to think as if you're playing like a 30-card hand trap deck with vanilla monsters, because you cannot rely on your monsters to play the game like battling and like what other decks can do. So it's really you have to do your best to try to protect them.
Even Max itself is like 1000.
1000. I mean, he's the most useless after he searches. Still, it's like he's too small, quite small.
I think actually the good thing about this deck is because Unchained actually focuses on taking away on special summon monster, but the good thing is like
I'm normally summoning, I'm not doing anything.
So for decks that you actually focus a lot, it's like disrupting special summon monster, actually Magical Musketeer doesn't really affect Magical Musketeer. So even if let's say they got Vanity Emptiness, it might not affect as much unless we need to bring.
I mean, the great thing about like even skill drain, for example, like you don't really care because your disruption isn't your monster effects, it's spell trap effects. So even though it might be a bit annoying, like skill drain, you have to wait a turn to set your Desperado to pop it the next turn.
Yeah. So talking about the skill drain, but I didn't know that when skill drain is activated, I cannot activate from hand unless it's a spell during my turn.
So I mean that's the point. Like it's as God as you not have monsters.
Yeah.
It's very restrictive.
So it becomes we have to set it instead lah. Yeah.
Or you can chain Desperado if you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Vanity Enters you don't really care because it actually slows down the game for you a lot. Yeah.
So for Unchained, you just keep trying to.
Yeah, so they kind of share, and then now you're starting to see that they're slowly edging out. And this is the kind of situations that when you're on a losing situation for Madans, Magical Musketeers, you start to see. Is that it feels like you're drowning very slowly. It's not you don't die in one turn, you die in like 7-8 turns because you're slowly trying to grind him out and you're not quite getting there. Yeah.
So now the problem is, although we have a.
We can't search anything.
There's nothing to search.
So.
And I think this is my problem because I don't have enough UR token. He actually wanted something a third max so he can find something.
I think 3 max is mandatory because it is literally the thing that keeps you in the game to keep playing. So
for those who really want to play this deck, please take note to put in 3 max.
3 is important.
Because I didn't want to like exhaust my UR token and that's why there's only 2 in the deck. So if you realize at this point in time there's nothing much we can do. Firstly, we don't have any bullets left. And then we can't link to max, so there's actually nothing much we can do already. So at this point in time we I wouldn't say even by drawing another card we can turn the game.
So actually there was a misplay earlier, right? Where we weren't able to use our Dancing Needle properly to vanish, So I think that's when things started spiraling out of hand and now he's going to link our stuff and then he gets his access quota and that's game.
So overall I would say this deck is still it's a control deck, very different from all the decks that
not a traditional control deck, but at the end of the day it's like, Sky Striker or Helmage, right? It's trap cards and spell cards that are doing the disruption. So you can still think it like that.
Actually I kind of like this because it feels a bit like Endymion as well, because Endymion is not really about monster effects.
Right, it's not like a non-traditional kind of ending deck.
So I think to wrap it off, I just want to ask about this very special monster that no one adds to their decks. Let me just search again. Which I was wondering why. Let me see. Is it even in the deck? Oh, it's
Musket, right? Are you talking about spell trap or what?
No, I'm talking about the boss.
Oh, the boss? I don't think it's even just Magical Musket.
Oh, is it? It's not. There's no.
I think it's called something else.
Oh, it's not even
Mastermind.
So this is the boss monster of the deck, but it's actually not even in any of the deck.
No. He's just a pretty guy that you can put on your field.
So for those who thinks that you really want big monster, right? This is your biggest monster.
It is your biggest monster. The issue is that it's too slow. In that you don't get any of your sort of like your rewards for using your bullets until your opponent's end phase. And by that point, right, they would already see the effect, right? Your projector they see it on the field and they know what it wants to do at the end phase, so they'll just do their best to try to make sure this is not on the field by the end. But then all that effort for nothing. So in terms of getting more immediate rewards, the babies are still better. So this is still quite bricky card in my opinion. We actually have another high level monster that we put in now. Actually, I don't know whether you're aware of it. The Amazement package.
I have never heard of that before. Let's take the last few minutes to maybe you can share with us what's this package about.
Most Magical Musketeer builds right now at least for Master Duel is that they are strictly go second because they use Utopia double. Right. So the idea is that you have things like your Nibiru, a lot of hand traps like Maxi, Ash Blossom, and then maybe even like Impermanence, and then you use your bullets just as a way to prevent your opponent from preventing the OTK with Utopia double. Right. But in terms of like, if you are unable to secure that OTK, right, without Ties of the Brethren, right, which is for the Go First build, which is basically you can target one Magical Musketeer monster, special 2 more, same level but different names. Okay, so that's very good for Go First because it means you have 3 monsters you can just keep classing. But in a Go Second build, obviously we don't use this. So if you're unable to secure the OTK, you're actually kind of vulnerable with just like 1 or 2 Magical Musketeer monsters. So what happens is that Amazement has very good synergy primarily because of their boss monster and the trap card that I will introduce later. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically this boss monster, which is like a multi-figure. Activate any trap card, you can just special it. And then basically it can banish any number of its trap cards from its archetype to just destroy that many, target that many cards on the opponent's field, destroy. So it's very good for clearing the board. It's a sort of like Essence Cook, to where you know simplify
Clear
the board,
the field.
yeah, and allows you to have a controlling position. Yeah, and then the other effect is basically allows you to equip attraction trap from the deck. And really, what's so good is the trap card for this archetype, the one of the good ones at least, which is this one.
This
yeah.
one?
Yeah. So basically, this card you can take it as is an effect veiler and a Book of Moon tied into one. Yeah. So depending on which card, whether you equip a monster on your side of the field or opponent's side of the field, you get either to effect veiler or you get to Book of Moon, which is basically you can take it as just another form of disruption. Yeah, which is you can easily get from your the boss monster or from their searcher, which is that spell card.
Yes.
Yeah. So this thing is basically allows you to search the monster and it allows you to or set the trap immediately. And because it's a spell card, right? Magical Musketeers, you know,
activates,
so it means that you know it's in its way generating resources as well for Magical Musketeers if you use it. So there's this very nice synergy there. Yeah.
Does equipping the the trap card to opponent activates that column as well? Does it trigger the Magical Musketeer?
No, I
That's
think
the-
for that specific it does not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So normally what you do is that you're just using that as an additional disruption if you have this. But most of the time if you have the trap card, like you hard drew it, you will set it in your column. Because the good thing about it is that if you were to use the Book of Moon effect, right, it actually gets sent to the graveyard. So it opens up the space again. So it's not really a it's not like a permanent equip card. So you shouldn't feel so scared of like using it under a Magical Musketeer column.
Oh wait, so you
Yeah.
mean if I use this effect, once it's face down, the equip will just go?
Yeah,
away?
because once it's equipped, it turns down, then it has to unequip, right? Then it will get sent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
yeah, it's very very useful. Yeah, so it's the additional level of disruption. It's level 7, so it means that you can use things like the Chaos Soldier.
Or the Black Luster.
The Black Luster Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, this Link Tree. And because it's level 7, it becomes untargetable. So it becomes a really strong boss monster that you can have on your field if you cannot guarantee any OTKs. Then you can just play the control game like how, you know, Magical Musketeers are meant to play. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, this Amazement package is really very interesting.
I mean, currently before my current build for in real life, I am using the Amazement package with you know, Utopia double with Nibiru. Yeah. So it's just a way to like, you know, ensure that I have more power, you know.
Yeah, it actually opens up, I mean, more utilities for the deck as well. Because actually, my main problem when playing this deck was it's very straightforward, like, just keep shooting and shooting and shooting.
Right,
so
most people, it's just shoot until they're dead, right?
Yeah. So actually with this Utopia, there's added one more winning condition, and then now with Amazement, there's actually more things to play around
Yeah,
with.
so you can think it's like the Amazement is plan B, Utopia is your plan A, right?
Yeah.
You guarantee the OTK. Yeah. So if you guys want to use it, you put 2 of the bosses, 3 of the spells, 3 of that trap card, and you're good to go.
So two of this, and
3 of this searcher.
3 searcher.
So you can cut down a bit
3
on
of
the
this.
draw cards and put these cards instead.
Yeah, like you mentioned just now when you were playing that you are not fan of this, so maybe
Yeah,
you can take
so
out this.
actually in that duel that you saw just now, actually I'm not a fan in Go Second specifically, Pot of Prosperity, because it halves your damage.
Yeah.
So it gets rid of your best win condition for the Go Second build.
Utopia, right?
Yeah, the Utopia double. So I would use things like Desires even, you know, there might be a chance to, you know, get rid of the double or nothing, but it's a +1. You can also use like if you want was it the draw 1 card but give 1k?
Upstart
Goblin, yeah. You can use Upstart Goblin if you want. Or you can just use the Amazement package because it's a searcher. Yeah, you can use that as well.
Yeah. So okay, the only bad thing about the Amazement package is this guy is a UR card. So
yeah, it's a bit expensive.
But to me this is something that's
you
worth
can use
exploring.
Extravagance maybe.
Yeah, Extravagance is cheap. Yeah.
It's really cheap and it's a +1 as well, so you can use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we talked quite a bit
Yeah, a lot.
about the deck. So really appreciate Clems for coming down. He actually came over to my place to do this video for us.
He wants to know how to play Magical Musketeer, so gotta show him, right?
Yeah, I think he wants more people to play this deck.
Yeah, someone please play this deck. I want to see this more in Master Duel.
Yeah, because actually to be honest, I played for like a good 3-4 months. I had never really seen a Magical Musketeer
hardly
play.
see. I mean, it's my most favorite deck, so I really want people to see to play it, you know.
I think the same reason why I actually started this channel to get
more people play Pendulum Magician.
Yeah. So that's all for the deck profile. So thanks Clemens again for coming down today, and if you have any questions, do feel free to comment down in the comment section below as well. Actually, Clems actually look at my channel sometimes.
Yeah,
So
maybe I'm around. Yeah.
yeah. So he'll be able to comment and respond as well. And I'm not sure if he's in the Discord channel. If he's not, I'll join you in.
Yeah,
so he can help answer some Magical Musketeer questions.
Put me under interrogation. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks again. So if you're enjoying the content so far, don't remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And yeah, if you like this series, do let me know, okay? Because I will be inviting more people down to actually explain about the decks that they like and some of the decks that I'm not familiar with, which they are better at explaining them. So yeah, that's all, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.